Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. We're starting the stream just a minute earlier, so nothing major here, but we are live this week for the latest episode of Switch It Up, where we discuss the new games hitting the Nintendo eShop each and every week, and we've got quite a few to go through this week as we're waiting for some folks to come on in. We're going to just double check our audio levels and everything real quick, make sure that we're live as we should be, and get ready to go from there. I hope everybody has had a decent Monday. Mine has been a Monday, so we'll just throw that out there like that. Hey, DOA, how you doing? All right, we are up and live. So just wanted to verify that. Sorry, it's one of those things that during like the Nintendo Direct that we had 6 days ago, actually we were getting some issues with the audio not coming through my microphone. So one of those things that we just want to make sure, as always, that we have things rocking and rolling in here. So we have quite a few different things getting ready to go live this week and a few that have already gone live. One of which that we do want to talk about here is the one in the upper left-hand corner, and that is Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD. This is actually already available on the eShop. It is normally $29.99. It's on sale for 40% off right now for only $17.99, and you do get 90 Nintendo eShop coins. This is something that Nintendo did cover to some extent last week during the Nintendo Direct. Let's check it out for those who are not familiar with the game.
Take your leave and go in the grace of the gods.
That almost sounds like the actor who played Wei-Un in Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
False. What? That's your idea of a joke?
Jeffrey Combs, that's what I'm thinking of.
The Imperial Army has taken the Crown City.
That's awesome, DOA.
The reports of the invasion are all the same. How could every headline in the kingdom be wrong?
In the wake of the news of King Regis's death, we've now received word that Crown Prince Noctis and the Oracle Refrain have also...
It's interesting the graphical style that they've decided to go with on this game here.
Truth. You know where to find me.
I don't want to say dumbed down, but almost like the main numbered Final Fantasies. We will before the this episode is over, John.
No going back.
I said this last week. It kind of reminds me, the head's at least kind of like the Funko Pop style with the animation that that's using in here.
Surrender to despair. Have faith, for our gods watch over us. By their blessings, by the stars that light the heavens above, our world will be delivered from the perils of the dark.
Looks like QuickTime events are going to play a decent role in this game. Just something to be expecting. I haven't played the Pokemon game, so I'll take your word on that, DOA. DOA says it reminds me of Pokemon X and Y, or even Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. This just reminds me of a mobile game, really. And as long as, I mean, for $30 for a mobile game, that's pretty significant. $17.99 on sale for 3 more days as of right now. It's the 17th when we're recording this, so this is on sale. Hey, John, this is on sale for just a couple more days. Now let's get into the proper releases for this week. And we're going to start with a game called Undertale. This is $14.99, and you do get 75 Nintendo eShop coins. And this is an independent title that is being ported over to the Switch. Mew, that's definitely out of Pokemon, isn't it, guys? Let me know, too, if audio needs to come up or down. Okay, looks like an RPG, a two-tone color RPG. Not familiar with it myself. Turn-based, very traditional RPG style of gameplay. Almost no new content. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. That was a song, wasn't it? I have never played Undertale, John. It's one of those games where RPGs and me just don't get along together. We don't like each other, and we keep ourselves separate. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Game and Browse is here. Mew is from Pokemon, and the vid audio could be rated. You mean raised? So this one here, let's read more together. The world-famous indie RPG Undertale comes to the Switch. Fall into the underworld and explore a hilarious and heartwarming world full of dungeons and monsters. Date a skeleton, dance with a robot, cook with a fisherwoman, or destroy everyone where they stand. The future is yours to determine. $14.99, like I mentioned, 75 Nintendo eShop coins. The song was Once in a Lifetime by the Talking Heads. That is exactly, yep. Even action RPGs, it's one of the reasons why I believe that Zelda Breath of the Wild is the most overrated game of 2017. I hated it, did not like it, have no use for it. I've moved on. Speaking of moving on, this is one of them that was announced last week during the Nintendo Direct. This is the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. It is $19.99, and you do get 100 Nintendo eShop coins. And there are a lot of games in this that have never been available on the home console. I think there's 3 titles that are available on this that you could not get beforehand. Now, the lead for me was the fact that we got Final Fight in here, which is awesome. Now, one of the things I have not seen yet is whether or not this is the Final Fight Guy version, the arcade version, or just straight Final Fight from the arcades. I do like the fact that you can play online with people as well. Now, if you could do 3-player online, that would be awesome. So again, there's 7 games in this for $19.99. Final Fight, which to me is the big one. I loved Final Fight. King of Dragons, which I think that was a Genesis title, but I could be wrong. Captain Commando. Can't be Captain Commando because he's got pants on. Kings of the Round, or Knights of the Round, sorry. And this is Warriors of Fate. Armored Warriors, and I think this was exclusive to the arcades. I think John D was one of them, or Battle Circuit had mentioned last week during the Direct that you guys had played that in the arcade and that it was awesome. Oh, that's cool. They did not talk about that in the Direct, that you could play either the English or the Japanese version. I haven't seen anything like I mentioned about this. I would love a physical copy of this. And if there isn't one coming, I really hope, like Limited Run Games, is going to come out with something soon. But that is the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle, $19.99. This comes out tomorrow on the 18th. And then you do get 100 Nintendo eShop coins. Also coming out tomorrow on the 18th is Sword of the Guardian, and this is $11.99, and you get 60 Nintendo eShop coins, and we have a clip of that one right here. And in this, did you enjoy playing arcade games with your childhood friends in the past? Paying homage to the popular side-scrolling arcade games in the 80s and 90s, Sword of the Guardians is an amazing retro beat-em-up game for you and your fellas to indulge in an incredible adventure. Setting in the medieval times, the swordsman, accompanied by the monk and the dwarf, is taking on an epic journey and fighting against the villains to protect their people. You can now be the hero in the battles against a variety of intriguing enemies as you move up to each level, including troops of armies, assassins, wizards, bombers, butchers, skeletons, and spirits, and so on. Prepare to be captivated by the spectacular 3D backgrounds and immersive background music and sound effects as you venture through the forest, villages, dungeons, and castles. Sword of the Guardian offers exhilarating gameplay experience by featuring command-based combo attacks such as down and towards an attack, just like a Street Fighter game. Pick a character to fight. Unleash your power with 3 distinctive characters of your choice, whether it's the swordsman who fights for love, the monk for wisdom, or the dwarf for power. You are guaranteed to experience a breathtaking gameplay as you perform the signature and powerful combo attacks. Compete with your friends on a number of cohesive hits in a flamboyant playing style. This is a co-op style gameplay supporting up to 3 local players, multiple endings and storyline, retro arcade gameplay with exhilarating hit feeling, 3 characters with distinctive features and fighting styles at your disposal, command-based combo attacks, and diverse actions such as throwing weapons and using magic to achieve endless fighting combinations. A creative range of weapons and magic to enhance cooperation between players, including physical daggers and bombs, magical power over ice and fire, and healing and protective spells. And again, the spectacular 3D backgrounds with variation on weather and lighting. I actually think this really looks pretty good. I like the animation style and everything to this. It does remind me, it's kind of funny that this comes after we talk about Final Fight, because it kind of reminds me of Final Fight a little bit. But this is Sword of the Guardian, $11.99, comes out on the 18th. And also on the 18th, this is Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk. This is $49.99. And we have a clip of this one as well. In this dungeon RPG, you play as the Tractus de Monstrum, a living book owned by the conniving Dusk witch Drona, and confront the dangers lurking beneath the quiet town of Refrain. Assemble an army of up to 40 customizable puppet soldiers and wield unique skills, deadly magic, combination attacks, and powerful weapons to annihilate terrifying monsters and conquer the Labyrinth of Refrain. This is a one-player RPG, and you can use it either in dock mode, handheld mode. It does support the Pro Controller too. Find it funny in wrestling when heel tells the crowd they suck and the crowd cheers. Yeah, that's... you don't want cheap heat and you don't want X-Pac heat. So that is the Labyrinth of Refrain. It is $49.99. Also coming out on the 18th, this is Speed Brawl, and this is $19.99 too. And this one reminds me... Well, I'll let you guys see it because it's a really neat-looking fighting game. But what I like about it is it reminds me of some of the best aspects of some of the later Super Street Fighter 2 games. Not 3, 4, or 5. But the combo attacks and everything is basically what this is based on. It's a 2D combat racer about moving fast and hitting hard, maintain your momentum, build your combos, and unleash powerful special moves. You'll need to find your own fighting style and assemble the finest team of brawlers ever seen. Then do it all again, faster and faster and faster. You have 6 unique brawlers, each with their own fighting styles, loads of upgrades to customize each fighter and blast through the competition. Razor-sharp visuals and beautifully animated characters. The graphics look stunning in this. Over 50 unique action-packed events and races to wade through across multiple speed brawl leagues, local and online cooperative play throughout the entire campaign. It is 1 or 2 player locally, 1 or 2 player online, and this is Speed Brawl, which is again $19.99, comes out on the 18th. The Scribblenauts Mega Pack is $39.99. This also comes out on the 18th, and this is basically combining 2 of the most popular Scribblenauts games all into one. And if you've never seen any of the Scribblenauts games, they all kind of have the same animation style that you see here. Very cheeky, all kind of that hand-drawn, very tongue-in-cheek dialogue throughout the game, too. And basically in here you have 2 different games, like I mentioned, that you'll be able to play, either the Scribblenauts Unlimited or the Scribblenauts Unmasked, a DC Comics adventure. So if you're a fan of DC Comics, they will have aspects to this in here. If you look at this, hold on one second. Looking at that image here you can see Superman, Superboy, Superdog, and Supergirl as they're all around the Daily Planet. Sorry about the dogs barking in the background. And this is just a cult classic series, and I know a lot of people love it, and being able to get both games in one for a reduced price, $39.99 for the Scribblenauts Mega Pack. Now, finally on the 18th, and before we move on to the 19th, there is one other thing we have to talk about. We have Omvorm, and this is $7.49, and let's check out the video for Omvorm, because it's kind of a unique first-person puzzle game. You need to line yourself up in the correct lane and transform into the oncoming Vorm. The quicker you are, the more points you score. As the Vorm speed increases, so does the challenge. You can play in a marathon mode where you simply have to last as long as you can, or take on the Blitz mode where you can get as many points as possible in a set time limit. Technically, you could play forever in marathon mode, and thanks to Nintendo Switch's portability, bathroom breaks don't need to ruin your high score attempt. That's a poop joke, everybody. Do you have a friend or an enemy you want to embarrass? Good, because you can challenge them in the competitive modes and discover who really is the Omvorm champion of your particular house or workplace. This is a 1-2-2 player. They're calling it an action arcade game, and it is $7.49 for Omvorm. Now, before we go to what's coming up on the 19th, the other thing that's coming out on the 18th is the Nintendo Online Services launch tomorrow. As we talked about last week, on the 18th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, they're going to start seeding the servers so that you can download firmware update 6.0.0 if you have not done so yet. Make sure that you have your Switch account set up and logged in properly and linked to your email addresses and whatnot if you are going to sign up for the online services. That way it just ensures your cloud saves and everything work as desired. Now, there are a couple different tiers on there. I think it's $3.99 for a month, $7.99 for 3 months, or $19.99 for a year. That one I'm sure about. And there's also a $34.99 for a family subscription too. And I don't know exactly how many accounts you can have on that, but it is something where you can have a number of different accounts on there. We are going to walk through that tomorrow once the firmware update and everything hits, see what it's all about, because there's about 20 different NES games coming, and I'm excited to play those on my Switch. And that's the nice thing, too. For $20, yes, John, I agree, it does remind me of Tempest, but it's square instead of being, you know, either round or diamond shaped or what have you. I'm interested to play just all the different NES games that they have coming to the Switch now with the online service, and for $20, you really can't go wrong. I'm digging it. I think it's a good price. I do wish that they had that I didn't need to use my smartphone to be able to do voice online. I mean, that I think is really stupid. But there's no, if you look at the Pro Controller, there's nowhere for you to connect a headset to, and unless you're playing in handheld mode, there's no way to plug a headset directly into the Switch. So it's about the only workaround that they have for now, because there's no Bluetooth built into the Switch. So that is one thing to keep in mind. So now let's move on to the 19th, and this is Siegecraft Commander. It is $19.99, and like I mentioned, this is coming out on the 19th.
The siege for victory has only just begun.
Flying cows.
One way to wage a war. Craft your ultimate medieval fortress.
Looks like a tower defense game to me, which I actually used to love. Like Command and Conquer was always one of my favorite smartphone games.
Forge alliances and vanquish your foes in multiplayer. Into the enemy.
What, do they think they're Monty Python there with the flying cows?
Your way to total tower domination.
I mean, this definitely looks like a traditional tower defense game. And looking at it here, it's 1 to 4 player locally, 1 to 4 player online. And, yeah, they are calling it a strategy multiplayer action game. Everything I'm seeing, I'm calling this a tower defense game. $20 for a tower defense game seems a little bit expensive to me, though. What do you think? I never was really willing to pay that much for a tower defense game myself, but I also did play them a lot too. So it looks like it may have some potential coming out on the 19th. Now, we talked about Hover either last week or the week before, that it's kind of a spiritual successor to Jet Grind Radio. Or Jet Set Radio, depending on when and where and what region you were playing. And this is one of those where, you know, graphically, I love how it looks. It does have the feel of something that you would get normally out of the Dreamcast. And I know a lot of times with graphics, they go for 8-bit or 16-bit. I'm glad to see that, you know, this is definitely drawing inspiration from the 32 and 64-bit era. I guess technically the Dreamcast was 64-bit, wasn't it? The draw distance on this looks great. The music, I mean, if this is the type of music and everything that's in it, definitely fits with this genre of game. And you can do co-op multiplayer online or locally if you would want. Now, I know one of the things with Jet Grind or Jet Set Radio was the fact that you could tag buildings and whatnot. I don't know if that's going to have that, that aspect in here or not as of yet. We'll check that out in just a moment. Have you guys played Jet Set Radio before? Have you heard of it? Did you like it? Does this remind you of that game as well, like it does for me? This is Hover, and this is Revolt of Gamers. And this is $24.99 and includes 125 Nintendo eShop coins. And the game takes place in ECP-17, a high-tech city, also called the Hover City by its inhabitants and located on a distant planet. The great admin cut the communication with the Galactic Union and established a strong dictatorship. Having fun has become illegal and entertainment is banished. You're in charge of a team of young rebels, the Gamers, fighting against the new anti-leisure laws oppressing the city, equipped with high-tech gears, allowing amazing jumps in speed. They roam the city to sabotage the propaganda, help citizens, and find a way to reach the orbital station. This way they could warn the Galactic Union and put an end to the oppression. Again, this is $24.99. 1 player locally, 1 to 16 player online. So that's very cool. And again, you know, this is coming after the Nintendo Online Services launch. You are going to need to be a subscriber to be able to play online. The card comes out on the 20th, and it is a poker, Texas Hold'em, Blackjack sort of game. You know, we've seen these for quite some time pop up on a number of different systems to this point. The one thing I've never really understood about playing card games on a video game system, you can see each other's hands, so unless you're playing single player, what's the point? But for $4.99, you get 25 Nintendo eShop coins. Oh, excuse me, I apologize. Built-in ranking system, compete with users across the country over coins earned in the game. The more coins you have, the bigger bets you can make, so the game gets more entertaining and challenging. There's an achievement system you can unlock that you can gather backgrounds and card designs. You can make your ideal game environment by customizing the number of rounds, backgrounds, and card designs. Like I say, I've never been huge about card games on video game systems, but that's an interesting one for, you know, under $5. If you like poker, like Blackjack, might be worth a look. Next up, this is The Gardens Between, and this one here is $19.99, and you do get 100 Nintendo eShop coins.
Peggy 3.
Best friends Ariana and Frent fall into a series of vibrant, dreamlike island gardens peppered with everyday objects from their childhood. Together, they embark on an emotional journey that examines the significance of their friendship, the memories they've built, and what must be let go, and what should never be left behind. Lost in a mysterious realm where cause and effect are malleable, the friends find that time flows in all directions, manipulate time to solve puzzles, and reach the apex of each island. Follow the duo as they unpack and explore their significant moments spent together, lighting up constellations and illuminating threads in a bittersweet narrative. Now, this is a single-player game. I did think that the graphical style, pretty neat on here. I'm not a huge fan of cel-shaded games, but this seems to do it quite well, and I think should be, a decent enough kind of exploratory adventure that you can go on. This comes out on the 20th. Ben Wander presents A Case of Distrust, and this is $14.99, and it includes 75 Nintendo eShop coins. So, first of all, it's from 2017, so not a new game. It's a port. Very much looks to be a point-and-click adventure. Now, I know there have been a few of these that have shown up on the Switch to this point. One of the things I like is when devs actually utilize the touchscreen on the system so that you can just touch objects versus having to direct a cursor with like an analog stick. Definitely has a noir feel to it, just from the music. Now, I don't know who Ben Wander is, but in this, you need to solve a mystery from 1924 San Francisco. You play as a private investigator, Phyllis Candace Malone, in the historical 2D adventure game. Explore underground speakeasies, smoke-filled billiard halls, classic barbershops, and more. Catch suspects in lies by using evidence, statements, and your wits. I wouldn't be allowed to play because I don't have any of wits. Anyways, intrinsic challenges face our heroine as she struggles against a pushback on emancipation, leading to many doubts, both internal and external, and uncover the truth in a mystery full of deception. One-player game comes out on the 20th for $14.99. Light Fingers, this is $19.99, also comes out on the 20th, and the first thing I thought of when I saw the little rabbit there was the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. So, it looks to be a combination board game RPG meets card game. Huh. Interesting. Graphically looks neat. Does not look very demanding on the hardware, I'll tell you that first of all. So, with Light Fingers, what do skulking thieves do after a night of procuring shady spoils? They gather at a favorite tavern and wager it away on a friendly game of Light Fingers. Played on a magical Clockworks game board, this turn-based multiplayer game has real-time action and devious opportunities for misdirection, all in the pursuit of securing more loot than your opponents. 1 to 4 players, looks to be local, not online, for Light Fingers at $19.99. Now, Reigns Kings and Queens is $7.99, and this basically combines 2 earlier games into one, and we have a clip on this one.
In Reigns, Kings and Queens from Nereal and Devolver Digital, you're a monarch of the modern age. That means you face a seemingly never-ending series of requests from peasants, allies, and enemies. Your word may be law, but what happens when your choices threaten the balance between influential factions? Your only option is to outwit and outlast those who would seek to overthrow you and your family.
Now, in Reign's
calculation
Kings
of
and
Reign
Queens,
and
it
Reign's
includes
Her
both
Majesty.
award-winning
For the
games
first
Reigns
time, you can
and
enjoy
Reign,
local
Her
co-op
Majesty.
decision-making
You'll sit on the throne as a
exclusively
benevolent or
on
malevolent
Nintendo
monarch
Switch
in
when
the modern
Reign's
age and
Kings and
swipe
Queens
your royal
rises to
decrees to the
power
left
this
or
spring.
right to impose your will
Reign's, Kings
upon
and
the
Queens for
kingdom.
Muriel and
For me, no. But it is classified as an adventure RPG strategy simulation for $7.99. Now, retimed, this one actually looks really neat. This one is $14.99, comes out on the 20th, and it's a different take on the shooter. I look at as, here, let's get a video going. I look at as Super Smash Brothers meets a shooter. Is really what it is. Almost like Splatoon meets Smash Brothers. And in this, you can challenge friends and family to awesome and fast-paced arena battles. Choose between chaotic team matches and intense free-for-all fights. Dash and dodge bullet clusters with nerve-wracking slow-motion moments. Use different surroundings to outplay your opponents and enjoy the colorful world all the time. Your heroes include Violet, Jolly, Careless, Clumsy, is made of bubblegum-like substances. Botane, constantly depressed, lives in a city where everyone is happy. Psycho, mystery to everyone, wears a mask for unknown reasons. And Yaoi, a super chill character who loves listening to music and getting all philosophical. It's easy to learn but hard to master. 2 to 4 players with 4 cute characters. 6 unique arenas, multiple gameplay modes, and it is eSport ready. This actually looks like a lot of fun. 2 to 4 players. The question that I have is, what if you just have one player? If you have to have multiple players, that to me at least reduces the value of this game. But $14.99 for Retimed, coming out on the 20th. Now, Magic Hat, this is $4.99 and kind of an 8-bit style platformer. And we'll give you a quick look at all the different graphics that are in here. What is Kid Trip? That's what it kind of reminds me of graphically, is the graphics from Kid Trip. I don't believe this is the same developer, however. And Magic Hat takes players on a quest to retrieve stolen artifact and explore the astounding magical worlds of the Magic Hat universe, using the powers of dashing, high jump, and fireball, along with items that can be unlocked as the story progresses. Players must help Magic Hat regain the world's lost relic. Players will indulge in a memorable adventure packed with excitement and addictive gameplay. It's a handcrafted retro experience, ranged from the colorful pixel art, nostalgic music, and classic platformer gameplay mixed with modern elements. The world map has many different secrets to explore. There's 63 different levels for you to play on as well, each one with their own unique boss spread across 7 different worlds. Gorgeous level design with a learning curve that will satisfy those that love to face challenges. And there are various unlockable skills and color schemes for the main character. Now, this is a one-player action platformer. $4.99 for Magic Hat. This comes out on the 20th. This is Mitsuguri Kamui Hikei. Mitsuguri Kamui Hikei. Yeah, let's go with that. And this is actually a pretty neat looking game. I hope you guys like it here as we get it rolling. Now, some of the character motions and whatnot remind me almost something either off of the Saturn or the Dreamcast. Not Dead or Alive, what am I thinking of? Virtual Fighter. At least the way the characters are moving reminds me a little bit of that. Now, it almost appears, too, that you are, here you have a different level, but it looks like it's not like fighting in an octagon or something like that, but it's like you do have stage levels where you have to clear through so many enemies before you can progress. Oh, that samurai is bad to the bone looking. Interesting to see, too. I don't know if you noticed there, but it had the hits in the lower right-hand corner. Went up to 25. Good to see, too, that you have to parry as well. So this is 1190, comes out on the 20th, and high school girls plus Japanese swords enter the arena, take on a swarm of enemies, and leave none standing in this action-fueled indie game. Collect skill points to upgrade your techniques and confront even greater foes. Feel a surge of pleasure as you make use of both swift attacks and destructive techniques to scatter your enemies. It is only a single-player game. Advanced Gaming, no, the update hits tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, at least was the word from Nintendo as of last week. Now, with this game here, and it's from Zenith Blue, I understand, but I don't agree with the Japanese women in short skirts and open blouses and the tie. Make them ninjas, make them warriors. The whole hentai kind of, no, just no. And then last up this week, wait, no, we've got two yet. First up is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and this is the golden, what is it? It's got it blocked off there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we do have a clip for you. Guide a group of legendary warriors on a journey through the tragic history that doomed a kingdom and drove a hero down a dark path 500 years before the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Defend yourself from Malus and his forces using all the fury of this refined battle system, allowing you to fight as both the artificial life forms known as blades and their masters, the drivers. The drivers and the blades can change from the front lines of combat to the back in order to unleash powerful context-sensitive abilities. Together, you'll fight for the survival of mankind under threat by Malus, who wields the legendary sword, the Monodome. To stand a chance, you must master every character's powerful skills, including talent arts, a strategic element returning from the original Xenoblade Chronicles game. By equipping drivers with the new weapons, you can alter their attacks and elemental powers to perform devastating combos. On the long road ahead, you'll rest at camps, cook food, craft items, and share heart-to-hearts with many a traveling companion. Who knows where this twisted journey will lead? Now, this is just a single-player game, but it definitely looks to build on the original Xenoblade Chronicles, provide deeper context, and really add to the mythos of that game. This is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, the Golden Country. Like I mentioned, it is $39.99 and 200 Nintendo eShop coins. Now, finally this week, we have Broken Sword 5, the Serpent's Curse, and let's check that one out right now. Paris in the spring, shots ring out from a gallery, a robbery, a murder, and the beginning of another epic Broken Sword adventure. From multi-award winning Revolution comes the latest mystery in this much-loved action puzzle series. Playing as intrepid American George Saubert and sassy French journalist Nico Collard, you find yourself on the trail of a stolen painting and a murderous conspiracy. A conspiracy whose roots lie in the mysteries older than the written word. Armed with only logic, integrity, and a wry sense of humor, can George and Nico save mankind from disaster? Can you solve the secret of the Serpent's Curse? A curse some say was forged by the devil himself. The game includes behind-the-scenes movies created especially for the Switch version. Unlocked as play progresses, these videos reveal the story and the development process behind the game through previously unreleased interviews with the Broken Sword team. Now this one does come out on the 21st. It is $29.99. And those are the major releases hitting the Nintendo Switch for this week. Nothing much coming up after the 21st until we get to the 25th. And that is next week, Tuesday. So let's just check out some of the things that will be coming out and we'll be talking about next week. Ultimate Chicken Horse, Valkyrie Chronicles 4. I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. Think of the Children, Snake versus Snake. I wonder if that has the Nokia ringtone anywhere in there. Towerfall, Wonder Song, Armelli, Whispering Willows, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That comes out on the 28th. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. FIFA 19 will be coming out. A couple different bundles, looks like, for the Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Monster Loves You, and then right behind that, the week after, Mega Man 11 hits on the 2nd. Now, if you haven't done so, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Let everybody know that you do like and appreciate the Switch It Up videos that we do each and every week. And hit that subscribe button, too. That way, every time we do have a new episode, you are kept up to date. We do try to do these live at 7 o'clock Central Time every Monday evening. That way, we cover everything from Monday evening, basically on through the following Sunday. If you do have any comments or questions, as always, feel free to leave them down in the comments section. You can always go ahead, too, and email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter at RockSolidStudios, or we've always got the conversation going over on our Facebook page at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions. Anything here that jumps out at you? For me, I got to be honest, not really. The biggest releases for me are going to be the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle and anything that I'm going to be able to play with the Nintendo Online service once it hits tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Above and beyond that, I mean, Speed Brawl looks like it could be fun. Hover actually looks like it could be fun. At $25, though, I don't think so. I still have a copy of Jet Grind Radio for the Dreamcast I've yet to even start playing. So I'm not sure that I'll dive into that right away. I might wait for that to come on sale. Retime does actually look like it would be neat and fun. But again, $14.99, I'm not feeling it, you know? Everything else for me is kind of a pass. I'm not a big Xenoblade Chronicles fan. I absolutely love Final Fight, so I'm still considering purchasing this. I just kind of wish we had a proper Super NES Virtual Console right now for the Switch. But that is going to do it for this week's episode of Switch It Up. I do want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. Those who joined us live or those who joined us after the fact. Don't forget, I do have my Switch Friends code in the more info section if you want to go ahead and send me a friend's request. We do have more exciting videos coming out this week. Tomorrow, we will be going live with our video showing our recent experiences ordering retro games from GameStop. Was it a hit or a miss? Well, make sure you find out. And actually, that's something our Patreon subscribers have had access to since last Saturday. If you do want to, you can. I'm not missing the Bears. I don't care about the Bears. It's still baseball season. I've got a pennant my team is going after. I don't care about the Bears. So, but we are going to wrap it up here. I was going to say, if you do want to get early access to all of our videos, make sure you hit us up on Patreon at patreon.com/rocksolid. You get early access to our videos, exclusive one-on-one content with me. You can suggest videos and a whole lot more. How many games will be available in the subscription for the Nintendo? I believe it's about 20 NES titles is what they are claiming right now. Let me see if I can verify that real quick before we sign off. Let's see here. Brian, you're just mad that I beat you this weekend. Let's see. And again, the main thing to remember, too, is all the games that up to this point you've been able to play online for free, yeah, you got to pay for that. and it's going to cost you $19.99 for a year to do that. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, not a bad price. Let's see if we have the full list of games here. No. Bear with me for a moment. 1 month is $3.99. 1 month is $3.99. 3 months is $7.99. A year is $19.99. And sorry, it's taken me a little bit long to do this. My computer running OBS is running kind of slow. So let's see if I can get on my phone for you real quick. You won't need a Switch Online to play Fortnite. Really? It's interesting that they've exempted that from there. You can use gold coins to pay for the subscription if you want, so that's interesting to note. Cloud save backups will eventually disappear if your subscription lapses, so we do know that is something we knew about. The NES games that come with the Switch Online can be played offline for up to 7 days. Here's the thing, and RGT85 made a great point about this. If I've paid for a year, why don't I have access to it for a year? That's something Nintendo really needs to change, quite honestly. You do still need to use the app itself. Switch Online, NES games. Let's check that. And there's 20 games in total. I know there's a couple that will be hitting the Switch for the first time, or basically being re-released for the first time in almost 30 years. So, Ghosts and Goblins, Excitebike, Tecmo Bowl, Yoshi, Double Dragon, Gradius, Ice Hockey, River City Ransom, Pro Wrestling, which has not been re-released in years, and Baseball will all be released along with Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong, Dr. Mario, Ice Climber, Legend of Zelda, the original, Mario Brothers, Soccer, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 3, and Tetris. So kind of surprised that they're not releasing all 3 Super Mario Brothers right away. Looking at this list, it's an NES classic. You know, it's a lot of what's on here is an NES classic. So I'm not quite sure that. I don't know how well baked into the system these are yet, and we'll have to see. Now, one thing I will say too is the versus Super Mario Brothers that's available that you can buy. I want to say it's $8 on the Nintendo Switch. One of the things people criticize clone systems for is getting the audio wrong. The Switch version of Super Mario Brothers Versus, the audio on the coins is off. So they don't charge you for the games. Will they change the games every month? I believe that's the game plan, John, but they've been kind of indecisive as far as what they're going to do. So my understanding to this point is once you have a game in your library, you can go back and re-download them and play them at any time as long as your subscription is current. I don't know how they work as far as the cloud saves yet. That's something that Nintendo just has not provided a whole lot of clarity on. And, again, just wrapping up everything that we have here this week coming to the Switch. I am glad to see that the titles that they did just announce are either live or coming live soon, especially from the Direct. Well, it's not my game of choice, seeing Final Fantasy 15, the Pocket Edition, already live less than a week after the announcement, and then Final Fight hitting 2. That's pretty awesome. I like that kind of turnaround time. All the announcements this week, but like I say, they're no match for me to the Nintendo Online service and the NES titles. There's 20 of them coming, and I'm looking forward to that launch tomorrow a whole lot. Now, if I didn't already own physical copies of Final Fight, I'd probably be all over that one too. But I already own the physical copy of it on the Super NES. I've got a Super NES with the HD Retrovision cables going through an OSSC. It already looks great. I don't know that I definitely need a remastered version of it. But, these are just my opinions. Again, let me know what you think down in the comments section. Go ahead, hit the like and subscribe if you have not done so already. And in the meantime, until until I see you next time, I am checked out, gone.